I can take your hands while you cry, not knowing what you do. I'll still stay by your side. Perhaps you are like a flower that ascends to the sky, yet never dies, just keeps growing right before my eyes. I see your pain, I feel your heart beat so fast out of your chest as though you will die, but you still breathe. Perhaps you are like a flower that ascends to the sky, it never dies, just keeps growing right before my eyes.
Hi, this is Laura Jean Finnila with Girl Time. So we have Carolyn Arno here, who has been sexually assaulted. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month of April. She has counseled. She's changed the laws out of this country. She was an actress on a cruise ship, and that's where she was raped by her boss, which is unbelievable. It took 10 years for her to send the man to jail, but she did, because it just hit me where the last show we had that I thought was the best one so far, with Katie, I thought we just rolled really nicely. So, you know, Katie was really proud because Katie's in a wheelchair and Katie wants to be independent, and she wanted to show, even though she's in a wheelchair, that she's independent. So I ran an ad on Facebook and I got a whole bunch of harassment from a bot from Facebook. I finally figured out if the first email was from Facebook itself, I tried to deal with it, and then I didn't hear anything after that. They were talking about banning me from Facebook. Then I got a bunch of them down the road, and I saw that it wasn't exactly an address from Facebook. So I got a lot of harassment for that one, but we really came out, you, me, and Katie, and really expressed ourselves. So I just want you to feel proud of that, even though we had trouble with it. So, but it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Procedures that they do if you go to jail for sexual assault, and it has to be approved. And sometimes even the assaulters want to have procedures done so maybe they can get out of jail earlier. So we can talk on that. And then also finding a clear space. I read an article by Laura Kudari on writing and motivation, but basically really what it was is just finding a safe place really to think. And I forgot all about that. And I know you're very motivational, Carolyn, because you, what have you been doing lately with your motivational training?
Right now I'm doing Brendan Burchard's Growth Day program. So
can you tell me about that a little bit and how that helps you? And
yeah, he has a lot of different trainings, some that come and go, and then some that are always there. But I think I like different topics. Confidence is one of them. So even though I'm now 60 years old, I'm still working on.
Yay!
I'm a work.
I think we're all a work in progress, though, because they say it's ongoing. Different articles that it doesn't stop. It's something I have to do it every day when I get up. Oh, I can feel that negativity come in.
Right. Yeah. Well, we can be our own worst enemy sometimes, but one of the programs he has there too is all about influence. So kind of the, how to make friends and influence people type of program. So that I really enjoyed that, because you can use that in various aspects of your life. So not just in business, but in a personal relationship and important conversations you have. So, I like that. So yeah, there's always something.
I like it too. That's why I like to have this where I'm talking to you. Like if I had to do it by myself today, I decided I'll just do girl time. And even if it's 10 minutes, talk about what I think is important. And it's still girl time because I want other women to come on and listen to maybe something that can help them. And it helps you and I being here with one another, and it helps other people watching these things. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, and Beverly too, I want to mention again, Beverly F. Searle is, like I say, when I get up in the morning and I feel that negativity, I have her link on my Laura G. Finnila in the kitchen.blogspot.com. It's just a 2-minute program she sent me because I took the whole training with her and I didn't have to pay anything because I interviewed her and she kind of wanted to use me as a guinea pig. But when I feel that negativity come on, because I know that her 2-minute kind of a meditational video, it's more instructional, but it goes into the subconscious like meditation, helps me right off the bat. I run to that. And the biggest thing with me, it sounds like with you too, is just really warding off the negativity.
Right. That's a common problem, but we're not alone, Lori.
Right. Well, no, I think everybody does. I just read another article from a gentleman over at Medium. I write articles up there and I just can't get them right. I'm not technical anymore, if I ever was. And he was really vulnerable to express himself. I follow just a bunch of people who write articles that just seem really sensitive. And there's a whole publishing company over there that accepts articles and that. I should send that to you if you ever want to write something. It's just, if you ever want to, I can't do those because I make all kinds of errors and mistakes now, unfortunately. And they won't accept it if you do that. But it's just one of those things, if you're just sitting down and you have it come to you, to just share where you're at, and that they take those. But no, because I'm always out there searching the web for all kinds of material, and I've interviewed so many different people. We all have that. We all have that same issue of trying to fight off negativity.
Right. Yeah, and finding ways to bring yourself back to the positive.
And it's a daily thing. Like everyone will find their own thing that they use. And you have Brendan right now. I have Beverly. And I mean, things could change down the road for either one of us because it's not etched in stone what we use. And I think we change and grow, which I think is another interesting thing to mention.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know if you ever feel the thing, we feel pain too, where there's things going on, you kind of feel shushed to your feelings, maybe because you're a woman and you're feeling like maybe you're not really taking in what's going on around us as importantly as a man can. No, I'm not talking about your husband. I'm just talking in general.
Right. Yeah, I think too, there's a tendency that I'm noticing now that I'm 60, that once women become a certain age, they become kind of invisible, like they're not as worthy on any level, which it's kind of ironic because I feel the opposite about myself. I feel like I have so much to offer now, so much more than I did 40 years ago when I was 20. So you might be a hot babe when you're 20, but you don't have those.
You were a hot babe. You're still really pretty. Oh gosh.
It's like I have 40 years of life experience now, so that I didn't have then. So I have so much more to offer to all kinds of people that I didn't have then. So there's so much more to me now at a time when a lot of people just kind of are dismissive. I noticed men of a certain age are rather dismissive, and I thought, wow, you guys are really missing out.
Can I ask what age?
Like 30s and 40s.
Okay.
Even 50.
I feel that too, the 40-ish more. It's like they're older to know. Yeah, yet they'll still disregard. Now I feel a little bit of the disregard too, but I usually take it personal. That's my issue, is I take everything personal versus it's just a social thing. And I feel the same way. I feel much more valuable now. And like, I'm kind of in the dating world again, and it's really awkward because it's still kind of a control factor no matter how old they are. They're all younger than me and not a whole lot, certainly old enough to know better. But I still feel, unfortunately, that shift that we all would like to have as to the younger crowd now, to be treated a little bit more than that. I don't want to say equal level, because I don't want to have stuff thrown at me that I can't do physically or emotionally, but I do definitely feel that the generation that I grew up in is still kind of sticking in the guys that I would date, and that really kind of scares me. I don't like it.
I've never really felt like I belonged in the generation we're in.
Yeah.
To be lumped as a baby boomer too, when our life was so different growing up than my sisters were born in 1948 and 1950. So they to me are the true baby boomers, not us, because life was so different in the late 40s, early 50s versus the early 60s when we were born. I can identify with my kids' generation way better than any other generation that I've lived through. So, I was born at the wrong time.
Me too. I feel the same way too. I think it's just because we put ourselves out there and we're constantly evolving and wanting to learn.
Right. Well, I love technology. I have an IT degree, so
yeah.
I actually like it. If I was a kid and I had all the technology today, I would have absolutely loved it. I still would have gone out and played and had fun, but oh my gosh, to do all the things that my kids could do with technology growing up, I would have loved it. Absolutely loved it. I mean, playing games with kids that are in Tokyo and you're in Oregon. I mean,
yes,
I would have loved that. I just like, how far human rights, even though we have a long way to go, they've come a long way in the 6 years I've been here. So, and I like the deep conversation I had with my kids a lot about those topics. I thought, wow, yeah, I should have been born when you guys were.
Well, we still, though, even with your children being born in this time, we still don't have equal rights, which I didn't know. Yeah. I thought equal rights that's in the Constitution was women and men, because they just kind of stereotype everything with the name men. I didn't realize that we're only in the document of sentiment, which is completely in another state, completely out of the Constitution.
Right.
I really didn't know that.
I know Gloria Steinem said a few years ago that it'll probably likely be another approximately 200 years before we can get full equality.
I think 100, because we're making a change right now. We're looking at this and
right.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how fast this stuff spreads from our mouths out there. I was shut down from Pinterest and LinkedIn when the elections go on is when they really hit me hard. Like I had stopped forced sex on one of my pin boards out there, and I was going up to 50,000 views a day, and it went from like 16 to 50, and it just kept climbing higher and higher. And I don't say a lot when political things are going on, but there were a few things that I just kind of lightly touched on. Well, I say lightly touched on, but in a blatant manner. A few short words, but apparently it was making some kind of effect on the political scene, because they shut me down there. They call me violator. I mean, we're talking stop forced sex. This is something that law enforcement is out there fighting. So if anything, I'd be on their side if someone wanted to come after me, and then link it to the same thing. There were many groups over there, and a lot of them, they're like support groups for victims. And on Facebook has been really good to me, and Twitter and Instagram, but Facebook, there's a lot of groups over there too. And a lot of people don't even talk on there, but they can be like 200 to 800, depending on which group people. And I'm the only one sharing things. And sometimes I almost feel responsible to keep information in there and kind of keep it going. But yeah, they shut me down on LinkedIn too. And I realize I get ticked off, and my words can be maybe too blatant, but I mean, I think I'm just kind of, instead of thinking about it, and I don't go on with pages of stuff, I just come out and say it, and maybe I wrote a song about it. Maybe I wrote an article about it. But yeah, you'd be surprised how far it goes from just you and I. So I really think that us being here, I'm hoping I don't continue to have trouble with Google ads, because we get deeper into these things. And it happened with me on Blog Talk Radio. And I just started to just fly with my growing over there till I was hurt and I had to stop because I was doing it, I think, with my personal situations, because I wasn't talking a lot about it yet. I was trying to learn how to.
Well, that's good. Yeah, one of the things that Gloria Steinem said is it's not enough for women to get access to education and careers and even approach getting equality in pay, which we're not there yet, but also the responsibilities at home need to be shared equally. And it takes a lot of work to make that equal. And I never got there, but I think that's a big issue. That's why if I had sons, I would for sure be teaching them a lot about that. But make sure they know how to cook and clean and grocery shop. And I couldn't, I drove myself to illness because I just trying to do it all, and it's really hard.
We all have been, Carolyn. We all have. The women that I follow who have their YouTube channels, I've heard stories the same way.
Yeah.
It's really hard for our bodies. Our bodies are already, and I want to mention too, they're teaching the kids in school how to do some of these things, because my son learned a lot of the domesticated chores. I really appreciate it. But yeah, a lot of the women on the channels that I watch, and they're women that are pretty professional. I picked some really nice ones to follow. They have gotten sick too, because it's just, it's been really hard to find the balance, but some of them have been able to put their foot down, but they're already sick. So.
Right. I'm getting better at it now. And I do work from home, and I'm my own boss now. So that makes a big difference. And I can still have time to do everything else. So, and the kids are college age now. So my parents are unfortunately gone, but I don't have that to take care of anymore. So I can starting to take care of me now, which feels really good.
I feel like that too. I feel just recently really blessed at having that space around me that I can do that. And it does take a long time. You want your children to be old enough mentally so that they can handle when you're leaving them just a little bit. I wanted to mention, the good thing that you have is that you were able to go out and work, and a lot of women aren't really allowed to go out and work, or maybe to the quality that you were able to do. Right.
Well, I have 3 college degrees, and I worked really hard in my youth, and I paid for it all myself. And so it helped. But again, that career gap, which tends to be women who have that for taking care of their family, that really stung, because I went from a 6-figure income to starting out at, 8 something an hour, quickly turned into 18, and now I'm back to a 6-figure income. But it took me quite a few years to get there, and to the point where I just gave up on corporate America altogether and said, forget this, I'm going to do something on my own.
And the stigma of what we're looked at too. And I want to mention, I went back to school later, and I thought, oh, this is great, I'll go back to school, and then when I come out, I'll go get a job. And I kind of was on the bench about that, thinking like, why should they take me, when I'm so much older than these other younger kids can take. So that's another thing. And then I got to you too, saying, you know what? After being told that, like years ago from getting injuries from abuse, I feel where it all started, and that to just do free work after I had been working on Wall Street, worked my way up to in the corporate world, to be able to, without education a whole lot, and to be able to be where I was. I got to the point where later in life, I said, you know what? I don't really need this. Even if I'm not being paid, let me go out and do it the way I want to do it, like you are. And even if I'm not making money, I'll make a difference in the world.
Right. Yeah. I just found it, interesting that corporate America, here we go again.
No, I love hearing it.
Didn't value those years that I was taking care of my family, when really I felt like I had come back, I'd grown so much as a person that I was actually a better employee, and more responsible, better with my time management. And, grateful to get opportunities to keep moving up, because I had to start all over again in my career. And but then my dad was really ill, and 3 years later I had to go back to home to take care of him. And that's when I realized, yet another career gap. This isn't going to work for me. It is interesting that corporate America again looks at the gap as a negative when I actually looked at it as a positive.
Yes, 60 is really the new day for women now, I've seen. And it started a few years ago where women were going out to conventions, as you are with Brendan Burchard.
Right. Yeah.
Learning how to take in their whole life and what they've learned and what they've given, and just start new careers. And they are hot now because of that.
Right. Yeah. I know that is encouraging as well. So
very exciting. And these are other women actually from years ago, like Mary. I keep mentioning her all the time. She's the one that started me on the path of self-confidence, was Mary Morrissey, when I was at my absolute utmost worst. And she's a feisty woman. Ever since she was younger, she's been like this, though, always changing paths, always using this unbelievable, strong self-confidence that she had inside herself, which could have come from tragic in her life, as mine probably came from, always trying to at least push forward to stay in that positive place. But yet she's the one that I really learned that you can really be this powerhouse as a woman, and it doesn't matter any age, is what she promotes.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Yeah, her mom came out at 80, and she encouraged her to do a passion. I think it was like an art passion, and she started her own business and did it for 8 years before she passed away.
Wow,
probably the best 8 years of her life. Yeah, and she's
glad,
isn't it? Go ahead. Oh, okay. There's another woman. Oh, she's a newscaster in Texas. I follow her, and I wish I could remember. Oh, Dominique. She had a YouTube episode about a man, not to mix genders that were talking, but the story itself. Oh, that's true. He could have gotten it because he's a man, but he was 69 years old, and because he was so good at what he did. And that's why I try to stay really positive and true to what I'm good at doing, and just keep that in my head and keep doing it and using it, and not thinking anything around you where it has to fit in or where it's supposed to end up. He ended up like a chairman, a really high position in Target, getting a job there because he just stayed positive and worked till he was like 99 years old. Can you believe it? I know. I said, oh my gosh, I got this, right? So I still have faith that this can happen. Carolyn, let's switch topics here because I keep these a little bit shorter, and they got me off shorter, which is better for both of us. We get tired a little bit easier, and we don't have people running around waiting on us here. So, but sexual assault, especially with pedophiles, that really hits us more than anything, I think. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you agree with having an adult, a pedophile or a sexual assault, period? Do you believe in having physical things done to them? There's different things they do, castration, chemical things.
I'm not as, I'd have to do more research to, to have a definitive answer of what my opinion is. But from what, my tendency is to say that it's more of a place of violence that they're coming, and not sexual desire. So that's the way I look at it, because I realize they're two different things. And if it's a sexual desire, then they could be with a consensual woman, not be a pedophile or a rapist, right?
Right.
It's just about sexual desire. It isn't. It's violence and control and that sort of thing. So I tend to not think that that's a solution, because of some of the things I've read and researched in the past. Just feels like sometimes they could become more violent because they might be frustrated. So I don't know. I'd have to do more thought on that, because I can see if, people are looking at it as a punishment. There isn't enough punishment out there,
No, there's no punishment out there.
That's,
We could choose from the punishments. That would be something, but there's no punishment. But yeah. So I mean, how the odds of this even happening is pretty slim, but let's hope at least with a child, it seems to be where they really draw our attention to, and that they will at least take care of the kids who are ruined for life and do any, but I think you're right. I think these physical things they're doing aren't necessarily helping from what I read, because it's in the mind and there's still so many things they can do. Most of the time where I'm thinking some of these judges are heroes, they're only doing things that are reversible or wear off after time.
Right.
So I'm thinking, you know what? They're still not doing anything.
Right. Yeah. Because if it's reversible, then
yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. Worse off. I didn't mean to say reversible. It wears off like after a few months or something. And I thought, I mean, I really researched pretty well. I was taught in school. I mean, they make you do it over and over and over and over again. And I got really good grades. And I only went to sites that you can trust. But these judges, like a couple of them, and one was a woman, and I thought, yay, this is great. Well, she only agreed to the stuff that wears off. So it gets them out of prison and then it wears off and they're out to do it again. So what good was that? Right. And sometimes I think these women, and I really, really wish, don't say anything if you're not going to help. That's how I feel. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that they just, a lot of women with the content even that they do and put out there, it's encouraged by a man. And I make sure I stay away from everybody before I do something. And I'm downtime in my own head, because if you don't like me and don't want to be around me, then don't be around me. I've been through too much to really care what you think about what I say. When I say something, I want it to make a difference and come from me. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's probably a good place to end this. And I really appreciate you coming. You've been like kick ass today, Carol. I'm leaving that in Google. So until the next Girl Time, Carolyn, thanks for coming, everybody. Okay? Thanks, Carolyn.
Thanks, Lori.
Bye, honey.
I faint when I think of the time lost, the time of the past. I should have dressed me after I was drugged. I know one day we will talk. I'll walk so high and proud that day, and I'll wait to be rectified. Till then, I said no, you said you needed it. I couldn't fight, I couldn't remember it, I couldn't get away from you. Thereafter, I know one day we will talk. I'll walk so high and proud that day, and I'll wait to be rectified. Till then, it all started with a simple plan. Take me down in a hospital, separate me from my family and friends, make me look crazy. Tried to tell others, but no one would believe. The catastrophic story was too wild coming for me. But the smart, bright girl wouldn't tell us, she took me down more. Followed me for many years, brought fright and physical